We, try to inform you. We try to make some jokes here. I just want to make what is a little bit of an opening statement here. It's not an apology, and it's not a victory lap in any way. But there's been a lot of attention, I think, on the last episode of the pod and perhaps some tweeting from two of the four besties this past weekend. I saw, and I'll let you speak for yourself here, Sax, and we're going to get into the timeline of what's occurred and then what are potential outcomes here and solutions to the banking issues that we've witnessed in what is a week since the bank run on Silicon Valley Bank and the shutdown on Friday. But what I saw, and again, speaking only for myself here, was absolutely terrifying up close and personally, watching people pulling money out of banks and watching people have to set up loans to hit their payroll. And this was like one of those surreal moments in a movie where like a meteor is coming towards Earth and you see it in the telescope and nobody else sees it, or only a small number of people in the observatory see it. And I think part of the reason people listen to this podcast is because we are insiders. And speaking again, just for myself, I'm always trying to be exceptionally candid and transparent with the audience. Additionally, I make jokes. So sometimes you might laugh during this podcast, or you might laugh when you're reading my tweets. And that's part of what I do. Now, I also realize that we have an audience now that is larger than I think any of us expected for this podcast. Certainly magnitude larger than I expected. And frankly, I didn't know if this podcast was going to make it past 50 or 100 episodes. And my Twitter following count doubled since we started this podcast. And
well, that's
I think
because,
it's 80% due to this.
you tried to ruin the putt.
I think it was because of the caps locks. But anyway, putting all that aside, what I would like to say as well is, like, we are living in a situation that is unprecedented. I think the alarm bell I sounded, was because I saw a fire. We'll get into the timeline here, but I sounded that alarm bell after Silicon Valley Bank was put into receivership and when I saw additional bank runs occurring. I wouldn't change it. I think these were the right thing to do, was to inform folks. Now, I did use all caps, perhaps a little too much. That was a little bit of a bit. If people didn't understand that, maybe I need to adjust my communication style now that this thing is so popular. But I stand by my mode of operating in the world, which is I always want to be candid with people. I always want to tell the truth. And yeah, sometimes I make jokes about life and, dealing with these stressful situations. That's it. It's not an apology. It's more of an explainer. And yeah, maybe I need to adjust the caps lock or how I deliver stuff, but I stand by the message of what I said. And I think it's important for us to maybe look at the series of events and misinformation that has spread, because there are people literally blaming venture capitalists for the bank run. That is now systematic, and the balance sheets of multiple banks around the world. And I think, Sax, it would be great for you to maybe just comment on the week that was and the timeline of events.
Yeah.
So as usual, you're not apologizing.
No, absolutely not apologizing, but we'll recognize that this platform is bigger and that maybe on the margins I could adjust my communication strategy. But because there's a lot of people who don't know that I make jokes, and maybe people don't understand when I'm joking and when I'm serious, right? And so,
Right.
Jason, what would you change? Was there anything you'd change?
come on. I think I might not have used a Mad Max image and GIF about the end of the world because people are too stupid to understand that's a joke in a fictional movie.
I see. So you find yelling effective?
It depends.
Well, J. Cal, I agree that I don't think you have anything to apologize for in terms of the substance of what you're trying to get across. I personally could have done without the all caps.
It was a bit.
Well, yeah, what you're basically saying is nobody should listen to you because you're not that important. And I wholeheartedly agree with that.
No, I'm saying, understand I might make a joke. Consider me more in the Bill Maher category.